7 silent moves that make avoidants miss you and crave your attention without you chasing them. There is a quiet power in withdrawal, especially when dealing with someone who constantly keeps you at arm's length. Someone who texts you all day then disappears for a week, who acts like they want a relationship, but runs the moment things get serious. If you have ever been with an avoidant, you already know the exhausting cycle. They show interest, then pull back. They make plans, then cancel. They open up emotionally, then shut down completely. They treat you like a priority one day and an option the next. But here's the twist. Following them into their distance only validates their behavior. The real magnetism lies in what you don't do. These are not manipulation tactics. These are shifts in your energy, presence, and emotional availability that speak volumes without saying a word. 1. Stop initiating contact completely. One of the first silent moves that changes everything is when you stop being the one who always reaches out. Avoidants are used to you texting first, calling first, making plans first. When you constantly initiate, they feel safe knowing you're always there waiting. But when you go completely silent on initiating, when you stop sending those good morning texts, stop asking about their day, stop suggesting weekend plans, something fascinating happens. They notice the void immediately. The absence of your messages becomes more noticeable than their presence ever was. First confusion, then curiosity, then the uncomfortable realization that they might be losing you. You're no longer their safety net. That silence creates a vacuum that pulls them towards you. 2. Become genuinely busy with your own life. Here's where most people mess up. They pretend to be busy, but they're actually just sitting at home waiting for the avoidant to notice. They post on social media, trying to look occupied, and the avoidant can sense this performance from miles away. But when you actually fill your life with real activities, everything shifts. You join that gym class you've been putting off. You start that project you've been delaying. You reconnect with friends you've been neglecting. You're not doing this to make them miss you. You're doing it because your life has value beyond their inconsistent attention. When they text you at 10 p.m. expecting you to be available and you're genuinely out living your life, it scrambles their entire system. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about actually having a life worth living. And nothing makes an avoidant miss you faster than realizing your world no longer revolves around their unpredictable orbit. 3. Stop reacting to their hot and cold behavior. Avoidants thrive on getting emotional reactions from you. They pull away and watch you panic. They go cold and wait for you to ask what's wrong. Your emotional responses have become their roadmap for how much control they have. So when you stop reacting entirely, not with anger, not with sadness, just complete emotional neutrality, it throws them off balance. They send a cold, distant message after being warm yesterday. You respond normally, unfazed. They cancel plans last minute. You simply say, okay, and make other plans. They ignore your message for days and pop up like nothing happened. You continue the conversation without mentioning their absence. This emotional steadiness sends a powerful message. It says their behavior no longer affects your emotional state. When they can't gauge your feelings through your reactions, they start wondering what you're actually thinking. They miss the emotional intensity they use to trigger in you because it made them feel important, central to your emotional world. 4. Match their communication energy exactly. Avoidants often control relationships through their communication patterns. They send short texts, you send paragraphs. They take hours to respond, you reply instantly. This imbalance keeps them in the driver's seat. But when you start matching their energy precisely, without emotion or resentment, the dynamic shifts completely. They send a 3-word text, you send 3 words back. They take 6 hours to reply, you naturally take 6 hours too. They keep conversation light, you stay equally light. No more carrying the emotional weight of the conversation. This mirror effect does something fascinating. They suddenly feel what it's like to receive their own energy back. The conversations feel empty because you're no longer filling in the gaps. And in that reflection, they start craving the warmth, depth, and availability you used to provide. They realize they miss your enthusiasm, your paragraphs, your immediate responses. 5. Stop trying to understand or fix them. Avoidants often have compelling backstories, difficult childhoods, past betrayals, reasons for their walls. And naturally, you want to understand. You research attachment styles. You read psychology articles. You become their unofficial therapist, constantly trying to create a safe space for them to heal. But this compassionate understanding becomes a trap. When you stop trying to understand why they're avoidant, when you stop making excuses for their behavior, when you stop seeing them as a project to heal, something profound happens. You accept them exactly as they are, without trying to change them. This acceptance isn't warm and nurturing. It's neutral and detached. When you do neither fight their walls nor try to heal them, when you simply accept that this is who they are and adjust your investment accordingly, they feel the loss of your emotional labor. They miss being the complex puzzle you were trying to solve because it made them feel special, worth the effort. 6. Stop explaining your boundaries or feelings. This move is incredibly powerful because it breaks the pattern avoidants expect. Usually when they hurt you, you explain how it made you feel. You tell them why you need more consistency. You basically hand them a manual for your emotional world, hoping they'll use it to treat you better. But when you stop explaining and just start enforcing, everything changes. They cancel plans. You don't explain why it's disrespectful. You just make other plans. They go cold after intimacy. You don't tell them how it hurts. You simply match their distance. They ignore your needs. You don't have a conversation about it. You quietly start meeting your needs elsewhere. This silence is deafening. Without your explanations, they lose their roadmap to your emotions. They can't predict your responses anymore. That uncertainty makes them hyper-aware of your presence and absence. They start missing the emotional transparency you used to provide because it gave them comfort knowing exactly how much you cared.